to go. Hello, Amsterdam.
Oh, what a cold room. Okay. I'm so happy to be here again in React Live Amsterdam for the second year in a row. I'm super excited today to talk about this topic. It's about performance budget, daily brush for website speed, embrace the performance budget rituals. I will start with an analogy for this one. I noticed some similarity between the dental hygiene and caring about performance. If you imagine website as if it is like the human body, I would imagine performance as its teeth. We are feeding website with features, so you need to daily brush your performance in order to enjoy these features. If you fail a toothache, you're going to visit a dentist to fix it for you and inspect it. And if you have a problem in performance, you're going to visit or hire a performance expert to fix it for you. The visit to a dentist comes after that. It comes some recommendations to brush and floss daily, so you can at least keep the state that you reach it with a dentist and avoid any regressions in your teeth condition, right? For performance, it's the same. If you go to a performance expert and fix it all your stuff, it starts getting some recommendations. These recommendations becomes like the performance budget. This is our topic for today. You can't fake it for both cases. You can't fake performance budget, and you can't fake as well brushing and flossing, because both of them, with small inspection, it can show that you are not doing it right. Some people might doubt it, right? And say, okay, performance is not that important. We can live without performance. We're living with this website for a long time without any care to performance, just like these two gentlemen. But believe me, this comes with two facts. The first one is that you don't know for how long this performance regression is going to last without complaints. The second one is that, believe me, I believe that you're not going to enjoy food, or you're not going to enjoy features with this bad teeth. And keep postponing. Some people keep postponing to care about their teeth, caring about your performance, and this comes to this guy. So you just postpone it, and now you're too afraid to tackle this problem. You need to tackle it as soon as possible before it's too late. The more you are postponing it, the more this problem is getting evolving. Allow me to introduce myself real quick. My name is Medhat Dawoud. I'm a senior software engineer in a company called Miro. Who's using Miro in the room? Nice. And I'm also a Google Developer expert in web performance. If you like what you're going to see today, you can follow me on Twitter on this handle and find more articles about the same topic on my blog. So let's start. Let's first of all convince stakeholders and managers about performance, how this is impactful on our online businesses. This is a very important part. Maybe it's obvious for some people, but now we're talking about the impact. That's why we need to reach performance. Not only that, we need to reach it and afterwards protect it. Today, we're talking about the protection part, not to reach our performance goal. But let's start with that. First of all, it's obvious. Core Web Vitals are now contributing to your search signals. So for online businesses, nothing is better than organic reach, right? So you would like to contribute always to enhance your ranking. It's very nice to be in the first page in search, but it will be optimal to be the first result, right? So caring about Core Web Vitals for loading, interactivity, visual stability, this is very important. There's no doubt. Another research shows that people are bouncing back from your website the more you are keeping them waiting. So for 3 seconds, it's okay. The more you are keeping them waiting, the higher the probability for them to bounce out of your website, which is also a loss for your business. Another reason, a research shows that every 1 second that you are saving for your loading time, this is contributing with like 17% in your conversion rate. Nothing more important than conversion rate for business people, right? And if you convert that to numbers, to money as well, it make it more sexy for them. The other reason is for the user experience hierarchy. 75% of the users get more satisfied about your website if you are caring about the page speed more than the other ones. The other ones are important as well, but page speed is very, very important. You can check the sources later. Well, now we have some important metrics to rely on. These are the metrics of the business that getting affected by performance. There is more metrics that you can rely on. But this, if you are not caring about performance, now you are losing some customers, you're losing some chances for your business. So you need to care about them. These four: SEO, conversion rate, bounce rate, and user experience. So you need to build a case, business case for them to introduce them to your stakeholder, to your manager, in order to act and prioritize this performance. If you would like to get inspired about that, I highly recommend this website. There's two websites, actually, WPO Stats and these case studies in web.dev. Both of them are giving great stories about companies that are contributing to this business metrics in order to enhance them. They are enhancing performance, and they are telling the story, what to do, what not to do, what they tried, and it's really inspiring. Highly recommended. From there, you can just build a case if you don't prioritize performance in your project, in your team. Build a case based on this, get inspired, and your manager might buy it. So, since we know now how important is performance for business, let's talk about how we measure performance. We have two important ways to measure performance. The first one is synthetic testing, which is lab testing, also known as lab testing. This is like, Lighthouse, web page test, and so on. Any site that gives you a text box, give us your website, and we're going to make all the tests for you and give you results. This is synthetic testing. It is trying out to simulate how the user is behaving. This is consistent. Every time you're trying with the same conditions, most probably you will get the same results. It is free. It's handy. But the problem is that it's not super accurate. Because if I'm running that on my laptop, for example, an M1, and I'm running it in a different laptop, which is a little bit slower, believe me, that will get a different result. So it's not really very accurate. However, it's a great baseline for performance that we are in this level of performance. From there, we can get better and better. Another type, the one that we are caring more about today, it's called RAM. RAM is an abbreviation for real user monitoring, and it's also known as field testing. This one is coming with real user opted in and gives you real information about geolocation, browser, internet connection, and more. So everything you're getting from the user makes you more confident when you are getting a decision for performance. You need to care about RAM in our test for today. It's very accurate. It can't be like just assumption that the user is going to connect from a 3G connection. No, you're getting the information about the user. The information like, its TTFP is like 3 seconds on this 3G connection. This is a real person connecting to your business online with a 3G connection. So it's very accurate. But the problem with that, it's not always free. One free option could be this Chrome UX report. You can use it. Google is using it as well for these researches that you have seen earlier. And you get a lot of information out of it. Or use something paid, just like Caliper, for example, or Speed Curve, and a lot of other tools. So now we have both of them. Based on either of these two tests, we come with some metrics. These are the performance metrics that we care about and more, much more than this one, just for an example. So you get all of them, and you find online that there is some recommendations to enhance each of them. These recommendations might come like this. For core vitals, we have green area, that's good to go, and there is a red area, which is very bad. So for example, like the LCP, we have under 2.5 seconds, we are good, we're green. And if it's over 4 seconds, this is super bad. You need to enhance it. So this is a very good start for performance goals. And since your manager has been convinced that we need to prioritize performance, so you can start from there and say, all right, we're going to measure. And I find out that most of our metrics are being red. Let's make Lighthouse green again. And you decided to make a case for it. He accepted, and you suggested something very nice, which is a performance sprint. One performance sprint that it's focused on performance, enhancing performance for our product. They accepted with minimal new features that you can add alongside with enhancing performance. The whole team is focused in performance for this sprint. The team start working on it. And you did a great job. You get everything green. Congrats, you did great. And your manager is acting like this. Yay. Have you seen this guy happy before? He always covers the pain, right? So, you did great. Your manager is happy. They started to celebrate, and this started to kick in his brain. We did great. We have a great performance. It's time for us to compensate the time we didn't add new features. we add more features. Let's do it. And few sprints later, with some new features, with less to no maintenance for performance, it start to be some regressions. Your manager start finding some regressions in business metrics, and he was curious. Let's try it out and see how we are doing in performance right now. He find out that it start to be amber instead of being green. And he start to, okay, let's hide the pain. It's okay. It's like the guy in the beginning of the slides saying, it will be fine, okay? And we have still some planned features to do. We're not going back. With some new features, it is getting great. So now we need to have an action. And we have this guy not hiding the pain anymore. We're in deep heat. So we need to change it. We need to change this fact that we are having a performance regressions because of the new features we are adding without any maintenance to performance. So we start making a new meeting with you. First one, yes, the manager say, we need solution for performance regressions with new features. First guy said, performance sprint. He said, no, we have tried before, and it doesn't help in regressions. The other one said, ignore users, we're building features for them. You'll like it. This might be the favorite for the manager, but no, it doesn't work. We have some regressions in performance, which means a regression in our business metrics. The third one said, no new features without a performance budget. But this one, the manager didn't like much. Because what do you mean by no new features? We need to build features. And from there, he suggested an idea. That's our topic for today, performance budget. So what is performance budget? The magical solution for this situation that we have. Performance budget is simply a way to limit the chances to ruin the performance of your application by providing some rules and keep checking daily. Maybe not daily, maybe with every commit, with every PR, with every release. And its main goal is to prevent regressions. This is the problem that we're trying to tackle here. Prevent regressions in both UX and business goals. This is very important to connect performance to business goals. So we have it as a hard line that we are not going back. And it will be easier to convince non-technical people with it if you connect it to business goals and user experience. So to create this performance budget, it will be something like that. We have a green line. The green line is something like the goal that we would like to reach or pursue, and the red line is the budget. This is the threshold. We don't want to cross this line. And if you have it, you would see that, all right, this is how we are performing all the time. It's fluctuating up and down, but don't cross this red line. Cool. Types of performance budget. We would like to add it. We have 3 categories for performance budget to be built. First one, it's quantity-based. This one, you can just say anything that can be measured with numbers. JS bundle should be under this number, max HTTP requests per this page or path, the number of fonts you would like to load for this path or for this website in total. Another one is milestone timings. This one is based on these metrics that we have measured using this RAM testing earlier. So we can say like TTP to be under 2 seconds. A bit optimistic, but okay. And CLS under 0.1 and so on. And it can be even a custom metric that you created yourself, just like what Twitter was creating time to first tweet. Now they are calling it exceed, I guess. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but yeah, you can just create a custom one, add it to your budget, and from there, you can keep enhancements. Third type is rule-based. You can say that I would like Lighthouse not to perform higher than 80, something like what we have earlier, but without regressions. So every time you are crossing this line, you're crossing one of these rules, you are getting notified. You just consider it like if you are facing any bug, what you're doing. You're going to fix it, and afterwards, before shipping it, you're creating a unit test, right? Or end-to-end test to make sure that there is no regressions. We're not having this problem once again before going to production. Well, with all this introduction, let our rituals start. So performance budget rituals comes with 4 steps. First one, creating a budget. Second one, applying the budget. Third one, make it stick. And fourth one is dealing with new features, this evil that is making regression in performance. So how can we create a budget? If you are new for creating a budget, you need to stop and ask yourself some stuff. First of all, gather data from the RAM testing, have all the information about your user and target market, and from there, ask yourself, first of all, how good are we currently in web performance? So based on that, you will have all the metrics with all the numbers, so you know where we are. Are we very performant? Are we less performant? Are we, working on some maybe performance sprint or something? How to contribute? How it contributes most in conversion rates? What makes the bounce rate the lowest? What could enhance SEO in general? Based on your answers on these different questions, you can have an idea. Imagine how the budget will be, what we need to limit, what we need to stop doing from now on. And if you have already a performance problem in your website currently, there is steps to follow. First one, measure, find all the numbers. Second, plan and fix. Third is creating a budget. Some people are recommending all the way around, creating a budget, fix it, and so on. But I don't recommend it, because if you are starting with performance budget and start all red and start fixing it, you are training your mental model that we can cross the budget. No, budget is a hard line. It has to be green always. And if it's red, it's a red flag. We need to go and fix it. So don't start with budget. Don't make it red in the beginning. First, fix it, have the best performance, get approval, and the manager will be so happy. Then draw the line. Say, all right, this is the best we can do for now. To stop regressions, we set the budget. So if you are creating a new project or you are in early stage, I highly recommend this website. It's called performancebudget.io. It has something called performance budget calculator. If you are starting and you don't know much about your user, you can start with some recommendations from them. You just give the target load time. I would say, right, I would like my website to load in 5 seconds, for example. And you can load the target user connection as well. You say, most of my users, I target them to load from, to access from 4G connection. And from there, it comes like a JSON file with all the recommendations. Just limits from this kind of stuff. This is a screenshot from this website. Highly recommended. From that, you will get some recommendations and some rules that is built for you. And for each tool that you're using, it might be slightly different syntax for writing this budget. But this is an example for the budget that you can see. Let's explore what's there. First of all, you're specifying the path. You see that I would like this to be only on the root path, for example, or this in blog path. So you need to understand what is the limit for everything or for a specific path. Another thing is the type of your budget. Is it a size? You would like to limit the size, or you would like to limit the count, the number of loaded files or loaded third-party libraries and so on. Another thing to specify, which resource type you would like to tackle. Is it script, third-party libraries, or in total? I would like to limit all the number of files loaded to be like 200. Fine, you can think about it. These numbers for limiting the size is usually in kilobyte, and this number for limiting the count is just a number, minimum number of these files or something. Okay, so just to get an idea about the budget, it looks like this. So we have budget in hand right now. We limit everything, right? What now? If you have toothbrush and toothpaste in your storage, it does nothing with your teeth, right? So we need to start applying it. There's lots of tools that you can use in order to apply these budgets. But just to name some, this is not the best, not the worst, just to name some. And you can go out and find any tool that would support you with performance budgets. So first one is bundle size. It's a small library that you can install in your any library or any framework that you're using, not only React. And it can give you this nice action, a GitHub action or something that will check it and tell you if it's within the bundle size or not. This is the budget that you're putting for bundle size. Another one that is doing a similar thing, if you're using Webpack in your current setup, you can just add a configuration for performance and say, I would like to have the hints in error or warnings, and based on that, you would stop the building or not. And it gives you this nice error message telling you that you're exceeding assets. So go back and please optimize what you're doing. Another free tool as well, it's Light Wallet. We are all, I think, using Lighthouse. Who is using Lighthouse CI? Couple of people, good. There's a tool called Lighthouse CI that you can integrate to your workflow, and it gives you exactly like Lighthouse, but in your terminal or in your CI tools. So basically, you are installing it from NPM, and using this budget JSON that you created earlier, you can just run it against any that's hard to do, against any of the website. What's so cool about doing that is that you can run Lighthouse against your website and use the same budget to run it against your competitor website and see how they are doing for the same budget that you are fixing. That's cool. That's a free one. Feel free to check it out. The next one is not a free one. It's a paid tool, but totally worth it. It's called SpeedCurve, and you can just create an account there, and it gives you a lot more options. That's why you're paying money. And it comes with this dashboard that you're building a budget, setting it up, and even for the custom ones, you can do it. You can make a budget for errors and everything. And it shows you this great dashboard telling you the red one is exceeding the budget that you're voting for yourself. Green one is obviously under the budget, and amber one is close to exceed the budget. So you can work towards that. It comes with some notifications, some webhooks, and so on that you can subscribe to if you are prioritizing performance in your application. What is so cool, if you click on any of these one, it gives you a timeline that I showed to you earlier that tell you what you're doing in each metric over the time when you are exceeding. And based on that, you can see which feature has been added in this time and work accordingly, just to go back, optimize it, and so on. Another paid tool is Caliper. Comes with support for performance budget as well. It comes with this beautiful way of showing you some dashboard as well, and some notifications, and some webhooks, maybe in Slack or something, telling you, as you can see, it's RAM testing. So it gives you, it comes from iPhone 11, 4G connection, very accurate, you know what the user experienced exactly. This one is exceeding, this one is at risk, it's Motorola and 3G connection, and so on. You might not consider these users who are using 3G connection, but if you get this notification a lot, you would notice that, well, I have a lot of users for my business accessing from 3G, accessing from feature phones. So from now on, we need to prioritize that in our plan for performance. And much more. Again, that was just to name some, but there is a lot of tools out there. Just try every one and find which one fits you best. So it's time now to think about how to make the budget stick. Because without having a real budget, your team will find a way to work around it, okay? To just avoid fixing it or just ignore it. So we have 4 recommendations. The first one, you need to make it concrete. You can't say, I would like to have the fastest possible website. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to say concretely, I would like to have LCP under 3 seconds on mobile in 4G connection. In this case, if it scores more than 3 seconds on a desktop, it will be fine. This is not your budget, right? It gets notified only if you break this rule. Another example, like performance score to be over 95 on desktop. If it scores lower than 95, but on mobile connection or something, it will be fine. So you need to be very concrete about what you're building. Another recommendation is to make it meaningful. You have to connect it to some business, you know? You wouldn't say, let's make some performance limits just to cope with this trend. Seems like everyone is doing that. No, you have to connect it to your business needs, bounce rate, conversion rate. So you make it very concrete, you make it very clear, even for non-technical people. So when you are building something that is exceeding the performance budget, you will find non-technical people, stakeholders coming to you and say, hey, you're building this incorrectly. You're exceeding this budget, which is affecting our business metrics. So you need to think about this. Third thing is to make it integrated. So generate a budget and run it manually every time. Just add it to the command line. No, you have to make it easy for the team to impress. You have it in the build flow, you have it in pipeline, CI, CD, and make it easy for the team to follow the budget and use it. This is very important. Make it easy and visible for stakeholders, non-technical people, and developers. So something like this dashboard, something like the people on call or something, is very important for you to watch out and work towards so they can keep in mind as well, as a stakeholder, that adding tons of images in the same page is something not really useful for our application. Next, last recommendation is to make it enforceable. Every time we exceed it, we modify it. I have seen that again, a lot. But this doesn't work. This has to be a hard line that the whole team is rolling around. We have to see this. This is not going to be changed. This doesn't work like that. It's a hard line. We don't touch it except if we have a strong reason. Changes has to be very limited and based on data. You have to have some data in hand, RAM data, telling that, yes, our real users has these numbers and we need to modify it based on that. An example for that, Jason Miller, the creator of React, he always say that React is a fast 3 kilobyte alternative for React, right? This is a selling point. So this is a budget. He was telling in one of his podcasts that every time they are adding a feature and they are exceeding this limit, what they are doing, they are playing code golfing all the time in order to just go down again under this budget. So this is very important, and people are getting it seriously. So dealing with new feature, this is the problem. First of all, limit existing features before adding a new feature, because I believe most of the features added to MVP are not optimized. So if you optimize them, you leave a room in the budget that you can add new features. Remove existing feature. Yes, some features are being there for a long time, not important, or at least if you would like to keep them, you can remove them from the critical path and load them lazily. Don't add a new feature. This new feature might not really important, and if it's affecting your performance, you can discuss it with your stakeholder, or at least, again, don't add it to the critical path for the user, so we affect performance. 4 is to run it in A/B testing, and if affect your performance and you see that the budget is going above the budget, the limit of the budget, you need to think about it and give these numbers to stakeholders. You might be convinced. So what if it doesn't fit anymore? We did everything, but the budget is tight. Yes, starting budget, the recommendation I talked about in the beginning that was generated from the budget calculator can be revisited, always. But based on data, based on numbers. The other thing, if the user experience is not affected, upgrade the budget cautiously. You have to think about it. It's not really an easy thing that every time you're changing. Build this as a performance culture in your team, not to be touched. So rituals now is done. So now you have all the power, all the force around you. You have to feel it. And just to summarize what we talked about today is connecting performance enhancements to business, very important. Learn different ways to measure performance, lab testing versus field testing. Performance is like teeth for your website. So performance budget is like toothbrush and toothpaste. Okay, prevent regressions using them. Create and applying performance budgets, how to do that. Make the performance budget stick, make it concrete, meaningful, integrated, and enforceable. Measure, fix, stay under the budget, repeat. You have to do it always. So remember, performance is an ongoing journey. Just like dental hygiene, it has to be daily. And remember to brush web performance alongside with your teeth daily. Because believe me, both of them will keep a bright smile on your face. No, not this one, or this one. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you.